go for their Nautilus or even Leona, but instead banning away the Ezreal, which is still an understandable ban because of how Yusa has played that, being the SVP of game number 30, but that will leave the Galio open for Trace.
Yeah, it would leave the Galio open, but it's also something that EDG could look into. Picking into their fourth pick of the game. Sivir is taken out, so there's less options right now for EDG. If they pick up the Galio, it can also synergize well with the Hecarim. When the Hecarim goes in a bit too deep, Galio can just follow up with his own ultimate, but it seems like they're gonna go for a different look here. Infinity, they might be threatening the Leona Tristana bot lane again.
Yeah, they definitely could. They used it coming into game number 2 that won them their very first game into the series. They could do it once again, but Trace Esports is very clever as well. You could go for the Tristana. We have another champion in mind. Varus will be locked in. This will be a poke champion we're in. It will be safe for Yusa to play and hover around into the bottom lane and still deal damage and a lot of utility coming into the team fights.
Yeah, he can also choose to play between two builds, right? Can be poke, can be attack speed. There's also an option for AP, but I don't think we're gonna see that here because they already have the Vladimir. But they do also lock in the Nautilus, so a lot of catch potential, especially single target potential right now for the side of Trace Esports.
Yeah, I don't think AP Nautilus is gonna go out because they already have Shen, and typically that only comes out when it's a Nautilus jungle that we're talking about, or if you're like landsliding out of proportion. But right now, it's more of the standard picks, standard roles, and standard composition that we have for both these sides. But thus far, Trace Esports have a mirror composition that they were able to do into the prior game, only with an exception in the bottom lane, wherein they picked up the Tristana and the Ornn instead.
Yeah, Ornn, Tristana, not the same as the previous where we saw it with the Leona, so not as big of a, I would say, a catch potential, strong burst potential. It's going to be played more as a substitute to the Sivir, wherein we saw the Sivir earlier doing massive amounts of damage when it comes to these balled team fights, bouncing the Ricochet around, bouncing her blades around. But now it's going to be the Tristana, more stock standard AD carry, going to play far in the back, dealing damage as well with her explosive shots. But we're gonna see if EDG is able to pull off this composition. Another double marksman for them, while on the other side, it's more of the traditional team compositions we see in League of Legends, having a mage in the mid lane as well as a marksman in the bot side.
Yeah, 100%. And right now, EDG is poised to come through. And they bring the Tristana as well coming into the mid lane. So an unorthodox switch of lanes between Tristana and Zeri, now going into the bottom lane for EDG.
Yeah, honestly, between Zeri and Tristana, I prefer Tristana in the mid lane, specifically because Tristana has this innate wave push potential, not being as dangerous when it comes to the mid lane compared to the bot side. But previously, in the previous game, we saw Hecarim earning a lot of gold for the side of EDG when it was used by 0711, having really great effect on the champion. Going back, it's going to be the Zeri and the Ornn here in the bot side on the map, going against the Varus and the Nautilus of Trace Esports. You don't see a lot of Varus lately. It hasn't been in the meta as much, but this is going to be the first time we have seen it in a while, and we do hope this is the adjustment that Trace Esports is looking for to even out the series.
Yeah, and along with what you have mentioned about Zeri coming into the bottom lane and also Tristana being a more favorable champion in the mid lane as well, I want to add to that, because the thing is, Varus is a long-range champion. Varus has so much poke potential, has so much distance into dealing damage, and I think Zeri is a better option for EDG to be able to farm, right? To be able to put distance up against Yusa, has a lot more mobility compared to alone. So when it comes to those all-in engages, given how Nautilus as well is an early game champion, this is a much more safer option for EDG.
Yeah, also there is very, like, I would say, situational synergy right now with Ornn and Zeri, because Ornn creates terrain with his first ability, and when he's able to cast that and the pillar comes up, Zeri can use that to extend the range of her zap as he getting caught out here.
Being locked in, the flash alone with a drenched line. The honey fruit, the MVP coming into that bot lane engage, denies that kill from Trey.
Yeah, that would have been the first blood being given over for Trace Esports. As you mentioned, the Honey Fruit coming in clutch, healing up the Zeri, not allowing you to die, but also a great catch right there from the dual lane of Trace Esports on the bot side, catching out Yo in a, I would say, a bit of a slight overextension, considering that she didn't have her support with her.
The Azo, but a switch as well right now with Tag going into the mid lane instead. Because this is the thing, right? Varus on himself is not exactly a champion wherein you really need to be just babysit. Because he has so much distance, he has so much damage, he has so much pokes. And that allows Tak to freely roam elsewhere, and that is the good and amazing part about having a Varus along with the utility of the Chain of Corruptions. But you have to respect this, because if an all-in goes through, this will be dangerous. Corn with a stand united. This is a 3v1, but X-Chang with a Whirlender along with a Flash. Weiba is in danger as well. And the turnaround from EDG on top side of the map. X-Chang just came out, came back in. It seems like nothing happened.
Yeah. Like nothing happened, right? He actually got a lot of advantages in terms of the health lead as well, alone. Actually trying to chase down all of the retreating members of Trace Esports from the top side, but just a couple of things that X-Chang did. I'm not sure if he had full information that Korn was topside, but they probably had a call that the Vladimir was missing, so he's probably gonna go topside in that point since the wave was about to crash into the turret of the Aatrox. So he kind of knew. Immediately pick up the Honey Fruit, and when the Shen was coming with its Stand United, was able to just flash immediately, and that was such a great setup coming from X-Chang in the top side.
Yeah, and a bit of a danger, but Nagi will be able to go through. That will be a single plate for the side of EDG, but they will be able to secure. Right now we have a switch in lanes for the side of Trace Esports, having Vladimir come into the bottom lane and Varus comes into the mid lane. They have to go for that, as that will give an advantage and more of a breeding room for Varus to be able to get more minions, get more gold, get more CS.
Yeah. Right now, there's not really a lot of things, big things happening. No first blood yet, no first turret. We're about to hit a 5-minute mark, which we're gonna expect both the Herald and Dragon to spawn. And these two objectives sometimes evolve into big fights from these teams. You also see handshakes. And right now with what we see, Trace Esports might have a bigger priority in going for the Herald. They do have poke coming out from this Varus, so they could get control over this mid lane, take it down early, and we do see EDG immediately starting off this Dragon.
Yeah, EDG with the Infernal Drake being started already. You also have Weiba coming into the bot side river here. Bot quadrant jungle is something that Trace Esports has 4 members on. That could be something that Trace Esports could do. Onto the Shadow already used. His stack is feared out. The Call to Forge God will not come through as the Chain of Corruption denies it, but EDG secures the Infernal Drake, and now it will be the time where EDG will fight up against East now. Very low already, has forced out the ultimate. Will give him so much defensive capability, but you over the wall will get that shot through. Will secure that kill, and you uses up the flash. A little bit over excessive there, as you will be ignited to the ground. Weiba in danger, forces out the flash, and that will be enough to secure it with Tristana's ultimate connecting. And Alone uses up the flash to secure one more.
A triple kill for Alone on that Tristana. And what a great series of events right here from EDG. They've opened up the game for them, having a huge early game advantage right now, taking the Dragon as well as starting off this Herald. Doesn't seem like they'll be able to take it anytime soon, but the lead as well is very much in favor right now for EDG.
Their 7-Eleven has sights onto attack. Gains information onto that. Weiba already up and running. Jungler availability for Trace Esports means that EDG has a lot more risk to go into the Rift Herald compared to before.
Yeah, with the Tristana backing off though, Trace Esports now starting up this Herald. EDG doesn't have the numbers advantage right now. It's a 3v4, but they are opting to start this fight.
Langry knocks upon the tag as well. Rift Herald already down low, and Trace Esports will secure it with a single smite. That will be a 1-for-1 objective trade overall in the early game.
Yeah, 1-for-1 objective trade. Herald did go in favor of Trace Esports, but a lot of the kills, a lot of the momentum right now in the hands of EDG. This Tristana is fed, having 3 kills, and we all know how strong a Tristana can get when she gets her items. So going back to this replay right here, this is a great dragon take from EDG. Immediately taking down the dragon with the jungler from Thunder for TE was away. And TE, for some reason here, I felt like they were uncoordinated in this fight. They didn't really think that they wanted to fully commit towards this fight. They had to go in one by one, and because of that indecision, because of them being late, it allowed EDG to have more time to put down the damage. And by the end of this alone, just using a flash to take down one more kill for himself.
Yeah, he is the cleanup crew, but all alone. And right now, Korn comes through on top side of the map with a stand united for Hueva, but just brought him down into a dangerous position, and EDG got themselves a free 2 kills.
And that just ballooned the lead to 6.5k for EDG. And you gotta feel bad for Hueva, trying to save his teammate at the top side, but instead of saving him, finishing up the duration of the stand united and gifting another kill over for EDG, getting another turret for them in the top side. This is going from bad to worse right now for Trace Esports.
Yeah, kill served on a silver platter to EDG's side. If you're looking at items already, you have 2 locked in items, 4 alone. And that's going to hurt Trace Esports' chances.
Definitely, it's so much in favor right now for Alone. He's really popping off, and Lisa even needs to burn the flash with a 1v1 attempt right there by Xdrang on the bot side. And Trace Esports right now are left to figure out how are we gonna try to claw ourselves way back into this game, because 7,000 gold lead is a lot at this point in time. It's still we're just finishing up the early game. We're in the mid game right now, and EDG is so strong.
Knocks upon the Korn, and now onset of Shadow over the wall. 2 people got feared. Yusa is in danger. There's just no escape. EDG once again erases Trace.
Yeah. Trace is gone. 2 members down. Mid lane is for the taking here for EDG. They take the first turret, and now they have eyes on the Jax. Lisa is all alone.
In danger, Xdrang will be able to root him down to the ground. Denies the TP back to the base, or well, the recall. And now Xdrang just on the chase. Lee Sao just has to raise the white flag. Clear down the way quite a bit, but EDG secures them another.
Yeah, it's 9,000 gold lead for EDG. This is becoming untenable for Trace Esports. The onslaught that is EDG is in full effect right now.
Korn, bit of a pickle, will be able to come back out unscathed with the Sanguine Pull, and pretty much with a 9k gold lead. This is 1,000 gold advantage per minute, and Langry wants to go for more with a good engage, but Tack with a depth charge onto you denies the possibility for EDG, but Xdrang 0711 comes to the rescue as Korn has to force out the second pull once again. 0711 is much faster than that. Hueva is in danger. It's a 2v1, forcing out a flash, and now with a blast cone as well, comes on to the tier 2 turret in the mid lane, but EDG time and time again gets so much bodies raining down on the Rift.
Yeah, 2 things I wanted to talk about. You saw the gold earlier. Everyone on EDG was above Trace Esports. Even the support, and Lisa just about to fall down right. It just seems like it's gonna be a regular thing that we're gonna be seeing at the rest of this game. All the members of Trace Esports about to fall down, and EDG is just so far ahead in this point. Infinity.
Just keeping up with a 1,000 gold advantage per minute. They're already at 11 or what, 10,000, 11,000 gold lead up against Trace Esports.
It feels like it feels like the pacing of the game right now is an ARAM game here for the side of EDG, and they're having so much fun right now. Just 0711 diving and not even minding the stand united. And this was the fight that we were commentating earlier on. There were 2 fights happening across the map, and EDG winning every part of it. There's so much ahead. Even the support from EDG, even Langui is ahead in gold against every carry from Trace Esports, and this is the God Slayers, the EDG team that we saw in the regular season who took down Trace Esports, stopping their win streaks. EDG right now looking so strong in this 4th game of the series.
Yeah, and I believe it was KBG's coach, or former coach, that came through EDG in the middle of the regular season and then just changed EDG. They went on a win streak right after that. It is so clever, and right now EDG is just a titan that cannot be defeated that easily, and right now with a Baron buff on their favor as well. Once again, another layer of difficulty for Trace.
Yeah, Trace is, at this point in time, honestly, Trace should be thinking about what they're going to do in the next game. It's so hard to get back into this game. It's going to take a massive amount of mistakes coming from EDG, which even if they make a mistake right now, just how strong they are, they can make up for it so quickly just because of how strong they are. So Trace Esports needs to dig deep, needs to figure out what they're gonna do in the next game, because after this match, if EDG does close it out, they will be at match point.
It will definitely be right now. Baron empowered minions coming through into each and every single range. 0711 just jumps onto the base.
So
on phase going into the backside. He goes down though, and that is an unfortunate thing for the side of EDG. But inhibitor turret's already down coming into the mid lane, and they just dive onto the turret. In top side of the map, they get to even trade a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but that was 0711 throwing himself into the thick of it. He was so far back into the nexus of Trace Esports, but that has allowed as well EDG to get a turret in the mid lane, opening up the mid lane to have super minions in it. Bot side as well, and I think they were able to destroy. Yeah, they weren't able to destroy the turret there, but EDG still very much in a strong position, even though Trace Esports was able to defend their base.
3 items already for Alone. Who can stop this guy? It's insane, unfathomable on how much fed he is currently coming into this matchup. Bloodthirster, Navori Quick Blades, along with another item as well, already stacked up, and there's just no stopping Alone in the Rift.
Yeah, Alone is such a good spot right now on the Tristana. It's something that we saw earlier in the series, played alongside the Leona, but now it's showing up that they don't need the Leona. It's just really the Tristana being picked up, one of the comfort picks right now for Alone. And for Trace Esports, they have to think about what they're gonna do in the next game. They have to think about some of the mistakes that they've done in this game. How are they gonna stop EDG from just controlling the early game? Because this is something we've talked about as well in the pre-game, right? And how aggressive EDG is. And the only time that we saw EDG lose was game 1, when they weren't as aggressive. And when they went back to their aggressive roots from games 2 and games 3, it just really shows how better this team looks when they go for these aggressive fights. And now EDG, it's becoming a bit passive, because there's so much that you need to take down first before you end the game. You still need to take down the turret, you still need to take down the nexus, and there's still this amount of respect you need to give Trace Esports, because Trace Esports, if you're allowed them to have these openings, it could still turn around. It's gonna be hard. There's still gonna be a lot of things that Trace Esports needs to do, but that is something that EDG is currently respecting from the other team.
Attack now being denied of the recall, while the rest of the crew for the side of EDG is taking the soul down for themselves. Hueba is looking on top side of the map, but that's the thing, he should have gone into the bottom side to deny the soul. EDG already positioned themselves. They have the soul onto them, which makes it so much harder for Trace Esports.
Yeah, but when you're this far behind, right, it's so hard to find these openings, and EDG right now is just baiting them in.
Jumps in, 0711 with the onset of shadows as well, coming into the backside. There's no stopping. 0711 on the Akarim, going for the chase onto corner as well. So much damage along with the Infernal Soul. There's just so much things that Hueba has to conquer first. 0711 just jumps through. On phase, on scan, that will be the nexus that will be open, and EDG coming right through in a face-to-face with the nexus, as inhibitor will fall down. It's an extra bit of cherry on top with the nexus being the target, being the lockdown, and EDG secures their 3rd game to go into match point.
It feels like each game that EDG wins becomes more and more